Hello guys. In previous videos we have already talked about general logic behind automating cold outreach agency. Then we have also talked about generating leads automatically and signing the contract with them and also reply management. And once you sign the contract and you have a client, the most important part of your business, which is client service, begins. So in today's video, we're gonna mostly concentrate on two parts of the client service. First one is onboarding, and second one is email set. So to come back to our process, so here was the previous part where sales ended and contract was signed, and now we jump into client service. So there are a couple of notes which I have made about the client service, which I wanted to just remind myself. So what is the main focus of automations in this case? So during the client service, the most important part is promptness of the communication. So how quickly are you able to communicate with your client about the updates of your engagement? This is really important because if you are almost instantaneous with your client, you might have a wow effect, kind of like they have like higher trust in your service solely because you're able to communicate with them almost promptly. And our first part of automations is concentrated on this part to make sure that all of the steps which you take during client service is communicated to clients promptly. Second is that errors, like error-prone tasks, which might damage your communication. So let's say that you made like some grammatical mistake. Let's say you have forgotten some link in your while sending it to your client in Slack, or you didn't write everything constructively. You forgot something. That's why the best way to avoid this is to have an automation which has like pre-written every kind of text which is required to update the client, and therefore it removes any kind of responsibility on lower officials like on a sales manager or campaign manager or something like that. This is second one, and third one, which problem which we're gonna address is a lack of organization. So what do I mean in this? So basically, like when you work in agency and your employees do everything by hand most of the time manually, there is huge chance that they will forget something, because like I have been doing this for quite a while now, and it's almost impossible to always be 100% correctly organized. No matter how much you work and how many clients you have and what kind of experience you have, you always forget certain stuff. For example, like you might forget to save your client's credentials in a folder. Then you might forget to save their contract in different folder, and then their date and their copywriting, their results of campaign, and so on. So basically, this problem, it seems small, but like in medium term, once you're already engaging with client and you always need to search something in your documents, notes or something like that, and you are not able to find them, it takes then shit ton of time to basically make the search. So our concentration in this case would be to perfectly organize everything. So in that way, your campaign manager, your SDR, your copywriter can have like access to everything in organized way. And if, for example, like let's say your campaign manager wants to go on a vacation for 1 month and you need to change your campaign manager with someone else, they can be easily onboarded on this project because every project looks the same from inside out. So basically that way they can search for any kind of information they need about a specific campaign, results, contracting and so on in just one day. So instead of like onboarding them for a couple of weeks and like spending time with them and explaining to them what is happening on this project, you just can give them access to the to this space of the Airtable, and they can just log in and see everything by themselves. So these are the three pillars of problems which we are gonna address with our process and automations. And then there is cost reduction for this specific for onboarding. So basically, like every time we onboard someone, we reduce onboarding cost by $10 per month. Here should be written like per onboarding, but it's okay. And yeah, now let's go to each automation one by one. So what happens? So like as soon as you guys sign on the contract right here, what happens is that you need to create client for Smart Lead, you need to create Slack channel for Slack, and you need to create a portal in Airtable. So basically, if you do this manually, like these are really easy tasks to be honest. But if you do this manually, there is huge chance that you might not have that kind of either time for this or interest for this. Let's be honest, like nobody likes to create Smart Lead client account and client portal because it's really boring. So like why should you do it, or why should your employees do it? So basically like what happens is that these three client portals are created automatically, and here you can see the calculations which are done behind the scenes. So basically, yeah, like only with this automations you're able to save about $7.2. Then what happens is that we send onboarding message automatically with like our logo and so on. Like in your case, we can use your logo, for example, here, and it basically gives a brief plan of what is gonna happen in next 4 weeks. Once this is done, by the way, with this kind of icons, this ones mean the automation, and then different kind of items like this one means that user has to engage with the tool or something like that. Then basically once the onboarding message has been sent, then we send a Smart Lead client portal to our client with all of its credentials right here. And then this client portal is also saved in client subfolder in Airtable. So that way, like if we have any kind of problems with the client portal of Smart Lead, we can just make a quick search in Airtable and see all the credentials. So initial onboarding ends right here. So this is a responsibility of campaign manager, and then basically we go to email setup. So what is happening in email setup? There are a couple of things which I want to mention about email setup and its importance, and what kind of automations we did in order to avoid any kind of errors. So first one which I want to mention is always like delayness of the task, because if your team does this manually, then they have like really huge headache. Nobody likes to do this task because it's boring as fuck. And that's why doing it automatically is always much better idea than doing it manually with your team. Then what happens is that this can be your this is, how can I say, like opener with your client, like conversation opener, because this happens like immediately after they get on board. So like if you give them really shit ton of information at the same time, giving them it's kind of like flexing with your automations with your client, and trust me, it will lower your churn rate because this shows discipline of your system. And there can be like lots of errors in like setting this up with buying domains and then going to like workspace and creating them one by one and going to Outlook, and oh god, it's really boring. And then the last but not least is that organizational aspect of this work. Basically, like you need to save all of these emails, passwords in one place, and then this place might get too big, or like you might have other clients' credentials there. So yeah, it will save you this kind of problem from this kind of problems. Cost reduction is $152. Here also should be written per onboarding the new client. And what is happening is that we mostly buy about 20 domains for each client, and that's how it is calculated. Look here, it's like 6 clients, 20 domains, and it takes about half an hour to set up, then 60 minutes to calculate the hours, and then 12 hourly rate. So it takes about 2 hours to set up everything for 6 clients, and in a nutshell it converts into like $24. So how is this done? So basically what is done is that we generate variants of burner domains. This is happening automatically. So basically we just have a select command which is called by domains. So basically you just write select command by domains in any Slack channel with your client, and then once you do that, then you receive the list of potential domains which you can buy. So how this happens? So like our automation is connected, we buy everything from Dynadot, and there what we do is that we input the information about our client, their company name and their industry name, and we ask Dynadot to give us only suggestions of .com domains based on this company name and this industry name. And basically it mixes all of that information, and based on that it gives you 10 suggestions of like what kind of domains you might want to choose. Then what happens is that if you like these domains, you just accept all domains, or you just click on it, and basically once you click on it, it buys these domains automatically, so you don't even need to log in into Dynadot. If you don't like some of them, you just click on regenerate domains right here, and all of this is happening in the Slack. And when you click on it, you can just choose the domains which you don't like, and then it will regenerate new domains for you, and you can do this infinitely. And then what happens is that this goes to our subcontractor. These domains go to our client, so our client knows that we have acquired domains for them. Then what we do is that we take our client's first name, last name, and based on that we generate the email addresses which can be used for these domains. And then we go to, and then, oh, by the way, all of this happens automatically. And then we have a subcontractor which sets up our domains. Their name is InboxLogi. Maybe they're quite famous in the industry, so maybe you guys have also heard of them. And basically then InboxLogi Slack channel is automatically notified that we need this kind of emails to be set up. And then they're like automatically, like most of the time we set up about 60% Google Workspace, 40% Outlook, and we also use some other providers sometimes, but mostly we use Google and Outlook. And basically after this notification is sent automatically right here, and then they set up the emails and give us the update that emails were set up. So this is first 2 parts of the client onboarding, which happens immediately after we acquire the client. So basically we onboard them. So all of this operation, which is written right here, takes about 5 minutes maximum. So basically like all of the onboarding stuff with like documenting client credentials and contracts and also other stuff, and then email setup with buying domains and all of these things. So this is the first 2 steps, and in next videos I'm gonna show you how we create, how we manage, how we do task management, And I'm gonna show you process of ICP creation, data gathering, copywriting, and also some subtasks as well. So that's all for today, and let's jump into next video after that.